Whew, oh, that wind just bites. I am woefully unprepared for these frigid temperatures. In today's video, I'm going to go over how I have survived in below zero temperatures in my Transcend. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is David, and in November 2023, I sold everything to hit the road full-time in my Grand Design Transcend, along with Rupert, May, and accompanied by my brother Kevin, who spends 4 months out of the year with me. I am out here learning the full-time RV life, one campground at a time. If you saw my last video, you'll know that I was in Florida. Clearly, I am no longer in Florida. We are back up here in Kentucky. It has been snowing. Oh my God, I have not seen snow in, I can't even tell you the last time that I saw snow. It actually just stopped. We're kind of in between squalls right now, so I wanted to get out here and tell you about today's video. Spoiler alert, there were some frozen pipes involved. Yesterday on the way up here, when we got around the Tennessee mountains, the temperatures dropped down into the 20s, and pretty much from there all the way until we got to Kentucky, it was in the low 20s. I got here, got everything set up, and the water lines were all frozen. Normally I run my diesel heater. I had that on already, not thinking that it wasn't heating the underbelly. I went to bed. I stayed really warm inside. It got down, I think, into the single digits last night, and the diesel heater kept it at 71 degrees. But when I got up this morning, no water at all. It was at that point that I realized that I did not turn on the furnace, but some good news is I did manage to restore water to the bathroom. The bathroom sink, the toilet, and the shower are all working again. And I'm gonna show you what I did. I kind of had to rig up some stuff using the diesel heater and directed it to the underbelly to try and thaw things out. I did find that the water line coming out of the tank into the pump was frozen, so I was able to thaw that out, and I'm working on the kitchen now. But if all I get is the bathroom, I'll take it. Went and filled up the propane today. I was down to 45% left on the one propane tank that I have left. I have 5. 2 on the camper, and I had 3 extra ones, and they were all empty. I didn't want to fill them in Florida because propane in Florida is ridiculously priced. So I said, I'll wait until I get to Kentucky and then take them down to the Tractor Supply and fill them up for much cheaper. Lesson number 1 learned, don't wait. Make sure you have everything taken care of. I am woefully unprepared for these frigid temperatures. It was, I think, 17 before, and I just checked it and it's 11. So temperature is coming down. So I'm about half froze to death. Let me take you in and show you what I did to get at least some of the water running in there, and how I had to rig up the diesel heater to help heat the underbelly. This camper is fully enclosed. It does not have heated tanks, but the underbelly is heated through the RV furnace. Here's what I did to try and thaw out some of the water lines here. This is my dryer vent here, and over in that corner is where the diesel heater comes out, the hose for that. So I stuck that in here, ran my dryer vent to this little hole under here, and I have it blowing hot air going that way. The line that was frozen is right there. I think you could see it there with my finger. It was actually frozen down a little bit further. You could actually feel it. Rupert, what are you doing? What I also did was I took this off here. You can see it laying right there. That's actually the vent for the propane furnace. It blows out here underneath the dinette. I took that off and I have it blowing that way because that's where one of the frozen lines was. And then I took my diesel heater and I have that directed going this way, like towards the middle of the camper. My goal is to hopefully get some heat over in this area because that faucet still doesn't work. These temperatures are not going to get above freezing for a week. I don't know how the water lines run in this thing, but I'm hoping that directing this will thaw some of it out. And I know what you're all are saying, what are you doing in Kentucky in January? Well, had to bring my brother back. I have been up here in January before, but it's never been this cold. But I've never had the camper up here since I'm full-time now. Wherever I go, it goes. And if you want to check out the diesel heater installs that I did, I will leave some cards up top and a link in the description below as well. It is 6:30 in the morning on a Wednesday. It is currently 0 degrees outside with a wind chill of -14. And the RV is staying really warm. I have the thermostat set at 68 and it's been holding it. Although right now it's not turning off. It's just continuously running, and that's because the temperature has dropped. It was 8 degrees when I got up this morning. Water situation, the water is still working in the bathroom. The kitchen faucet is still frozen. I think the problem is the low point drain. I believe that is frozen, and I think it must tee off of there and go to the sink. So I actually ordered some heat tape and some insulation that is going to be here tomorrow. So I'm gonna wrap that up and see if I can get the water running again. We still have 6 more days of below freezing temperatures before it gets back up into the 30s. But Florida boy is doing winter, and so far I'm surviving. I got it. I remember as a kid we used to pull the icicles off of the house and then eat them like popsicles, but I'm not going to do that because I'm already cold as it is. One of the problems that I had is the water in the kitchen sink froze, and I'm pretty sure based on looking at some comments and forums and things like that, it was because of the low point drain is sticking out underneath the camper. That tees off and then goes to the kitchen sink, so I think it froze. So what I did, whew, oh, that wind just bites. You can see there, and that electric cord is actually a little pipe heater that is wrapped around the low point drains and then plugged into that bay. There's a 110 outlet. I put that on yesterday. The temperatures did go down into the 20s last night. Woke up this morning and the pipes are still working, so hopefully that will help. Tonight is going to be the kicker though. It's going to be -8 I think for the low tonight, and that's without the wind chill. I will admit it's been years since I've been in snow this much too. It's kind of cool. No pun intended. Good Saturday morning, everyone. Quick little update. It got down to -4 last night, and I woke up about, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was freezing. I mean, my nose and my ears were freezing. The rest of me was warm because I had an electric blanket on. I ran out of propane in the middle of the night, and the kitchen sink is froze again. Got down to 28 in here, so the kitchen faucet froze again. If I skirted the camper or had something around the camper, it probably wouldn't have froze the kitchen, but I don't have a skirting. So if I come up here, well, when I come up here next January, I'll have to do something else. I'm about to go and see if my truck will start. It is now 4 degrees outside. Diesel's in the cold, you know, they don't like cold, and I don't have a block heater on this, so fingers crossed. Gotta use my broom to get the snow off the truck because I don't have one of those scrapey thingies, like the brushes to get snow off of the truck, so we're gonna have to use the broom. All right, here goes. Oh, that was rough, but she started. I'm gonna have to set you down. This is gonna take 2 hands. RVing in the winter, yay! Good Sunday morning, everybody. Quick update here. Currently it is 8:30 in the morning, -6 degrees, and the propane furnace has cut off. I think the regulator is frozen and or the tank is just too cold and it won't vaporize the propane liquid into a gas. So I guess -6 is just like, that's it, I'm done. I can't do anymore. And we have heat again. I finally got the propane furnace working again. It's a beautiful 3 degrees here. Let me show you what we did here. So I took the cover off. I only have 1 tank on right now, but this I believe was frozen because there is a little, kind of a little gauge here that turns red when it's not getting propane, and it was red. But about, I don't know, a minute after I put this space heater on here, turned the tank on, and it flipped to the black color, meaning that it's getting propane. Now, I'm not a fan of putting a space heater outside with an extension cord, so I'm actually going to turn this off and see if it continues to work. And continue to work it did. After I got that regulator working and the propane heat going, the temperatures here went finally above freezing, and I haven't had a problem with the propane heat since. So what did I learn from this experience so far? Number one, make sure you have a lot of winter clothes. I do not. If you're traveling into below freezing temperatures, it would probably be a good idea to drain your water lines using the low point drain and your water heater if you have a tanked water heater. Do not be afraid to use your propane furnace. Your propane furnace is designed to help heat the underbelly of your camper, so do not be afraid to use it. Fill your propane tanks before you're down to your last 45% of your last tank. When I went to fill mine, they were actually out of propane and I had to sit there and wait for the propane truck to fill up the tanks before I could get my tanks filled. Space heaters are your friend. I'm actually not using a space heater here because I'm only on a 20 amp outlet and I don't want to trip any circuits. Space heaters do draw a lot of power, so make sure that you are on a good electrical connection in order to use them. Using a fan will help circulate the heat around your camper as well. To help save yourself on propane at night, you can drop the thermostat down a little bit, and when you go to bed, get yourself a nice electric blanket. Turn this bad boy on high about 10-15 minutes before you go to bed, and then you get into a nice warm bed, and then you can keep yourself warm all night long while dropping the thermostat and saving on some propane. If you do have the ability to install a diesel heater, I highly recommend one of those. My diesel heater on low goes through about a gallon of diesel every 24 hours. My propane tanks, I can go through an entire tank in 24 hours, and there's over 4 gallons of propane in one tank. If you're gonna be in freezing temperatures for a long time over the winter in one particular spot, you probably wanna go ahead and invest in some sort of RV skirting. I will definitely be looking at RV skirting as a part of my tools for winter camping next year. All RV skirting does is basically block everything underneath. That's where most of your heat gets taken away with the wind blowing out from underneath your camper. The only problems that I had for this particular cold spell was the frozen pipes, and also the drain on my gray tank froze as well. This is my gray drain. That's the black one over there. This, as you can see, is exposed. I'm probably gonna have to get some heat tape on here, wrap this all up as well so that doesn't freeze. I actually filled up the gray tank and I went to try and empty it and the gate valve was frozen, so I couldn't even empty it. I had to wait for everything to thaw out. So I think that's gonna do it for this video. I survived -6 in the Transcend for over a week. This is my first time in sub-zero temperatures for an extended period of time. So if I could do it, being as underprepared as I was, you can do it. If you like this video, go ahead and boop that like button. I would appreciate it. It does help me get this channel out to other people. I also invite you to go ahead and click that subscribe button, become a member of the Travel Paws RV Pack. We would love to have you guys along for the journey. And from cold Kentucky, until the next video, stay warm. I'll see you next time.